Hello everyone! My name is Anastasia. I live in China and this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome! Thank you everyone who are returning to spend your time with me, and thank you for all the new subscribers who will join me on this very difficult and very long video, because I'm finally back home. If you didn't know, I posted about it in Instagram. This month, October, I haven't been home, like this home yet, maybe twice, 2 evenings in the middle, and that's it. And that's the first day I'm back home, and I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited being home because the places where I've been, not my trip, but the later part, it wasn't nice. It wasn't very nice. So I will be talking a little bit about it, because this channel I talk about cross stitch, I talk about my trips, and I also ramble about my life update, which in this video I guess it will be a big one. But I will try to show some cross stitch in between so you won't get bored too much. So what happened with me this month is that in China, the 1st to 8th October is a big holiday. It's first, I think it's the National Day of China, and like right after it, it was a week of Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival or Mooncake Festival, like the festival where everyone tries to travel or enjoy themselves, and the whole Beijing just leaves and goes on trips. So we did the same, but for how the Chinese people do it is that for you to have 8 days of holiday consistently, you will have to work 1 weekend before that and 1 weekend after that. So basically we worked on September 30th, and when we came back from the trip, we worked on October 10th, which was Sunday. No, October 9, which was Saturday. So basically they gave us a week off, but they also gave us extra days of work. Not nice. Not nice, guys. It's really not nice. If you give us a weekend or a week or any holiday, just don't make us work for it instead. But yeah, that's how the things work in China. So, and because it's a very big holiday during the Chinese year, I don't think they have many for the whole nation holidays. It's also a bank holiday, and nothing works, and schools don't work, and everything. So everything stops. So basically, they love traveling, and they like taking trips on these days. So sitting at home for the whole week wasn't an option, I guess. So and going to all the touristic and nice and wonderful places wasn't a very good option either, because a couple of years ago we went to Shanghai and we visited aquarium on one of these days, and I literally almost suffocated. Like, there was a moment in the aquarium where was a tube where you just stand on the escalator, I guess, but it just goes evenly. You just stand on this moving floor, and very slowly it gets you through the tube, and around you the fish is swimming, the sharks, the rays, everything. But because the whole China is on holiday, so there were so many people that we were basically cramped like tuna in a can, and there was no air. Like when we were in the aquarium, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, there were so many people you could barely see anything, but you can wait, you can walk very slowly, but it was bearable. But when you were in this closed up space of a tunnel, and the road was moving so slowly, basically there was no air, and we were standing there, and I just felt like I'm losing myself, basically I was almost losing consciousness. I was I'm walking. So I stepped out of this moving road, there is a little floor, and it tried started pushing through the people. It was very rude of me, but otherwise I would just drop there. So after this experience, it taught me that like travels on Chinese holidays into touristic places is a really bad idea. So that's why this October we chose to go to Inner Mongolia, and it was a wonderful trip. Very cold trip, but wonderful. I will talk more about it by the end of the video, and if you're interested in looking at the pictures, I have some videos and more of the emotions of this trip. I will have a timestamp in the description box where you can just skip through the stitching and look at the trip. But so basically, after the trip, I came home on the 9th, went to work. I had 2 evenings free, which I spent like cleaning and washing after the trip and gathering things. And on the 11th, I went on another trip, and I just came back today. So what is this trip was? It was my visa trip, and it's the first time as I do such a thing. And why I did it is because this year it's kind of difficult to extend your visas in Beijing or apply for a new one. And how I would originally do it if the world wouldn't go crazy is that I would go back to Russia, I would apply through the Chinese embassy for a new visa, they will issue it, I will go back to China, and everything will be so peaceful and wonderful, and I will see my family. Because this is not an option right now, because even if I could catch a plane back to Russia, there is no way I will be able to come back here. I don't think there are many scheduled planes right now back into China, and I don't think they are allowing like work visa holders back in Beijing. I know right now they allow the business owners. If you have a business in China, only the owners, not the employers, can come back. And families, if you're part of the family in China, you also can come back. But if you're like me and you're just working here as a teacher, no. So that's why it was such a difficult thing for us to try to find a way how to make a new visa without living in country. And one of the things that we kind of found out is that we could make a work visa in another province. And when we talk about provinces in China, it's like different states in America. They have different regulations, and if you do it in Beijing and anywhere around it, it's basically you will have to make a lot of paperwork and you will have to wait a long time, and it wasn't an option because basically our visa, my visa and my friend's visas expired in May, and we were extending and applying for temporary residence permit, which is given to only in case if you cannot leave the country. And it was the case this summer, but right now there are planes out of China, so it's very dire that we do this very fast. And anyway, so I had to go to another province, which is 6 or 7 hours away on a bus from Beijing. It's a very small, very country-like province, and the thing that I think I didn't like about going there wasn't the city itself. The city was nice, and I already complained to all my friends so much that I don't want to complain on this video too. But the place where they put me, the apartment which they registered me in, as I made a video of it and showed it to my friends, and one of my friends said a very true thing. She said, it was constructed by a drunken architect, because the apartment itself was basically at the attic of the building, and the ceilings in the apartment were all either like half of my height, or like triangle, or basically like triangle, then half of my height, then triangle again. And there were two very scary places, I guess, because they reminded me like the places from scary movies, because in the kitchen, which was like just a name for a kitchen, there wasn't anything there, not a sink, not a stove, nothing, just a place which was called a kitchen. There was a little door, like very thin, very small, but when you open it, it led to a very dark room with basically soil on the ground. So it looked a little bit like a cellar or of some kind, and I can never see the opposite walls of this place, and it was so dark there even during the day that you can actually just open the door into the black nothingness. And the doors didn't have any locks or handles or anything, so they were basically like, yeah, just come in anytime. Another one was almost like that, but it also had some old baggages and suitcases and stuff like that, which made me think, who forgot these things here and why are they there? Also, this place was so dirty, like it was awfully dirty that I was afraid to touch anything there, sleep there, or I didn't have shower for 6 days. Like I came home today and just enjoyed my shower for 2 hours, like scrubbing myself clean. Yeah, I know most of you just cringed and said, ew, shower, no shower 6 days. Believe me, like it's better if I don't have a shower for 6 days than like anyone ever take off their clothes in that space. So I wasn't happy about the apartment, but alright, I just needed to wait there. No Wi-Fi there, only 2 sources of light, and very windy place, a little AC which was so loud I basically couldn't sleep at night. And it wasn't like loud all the time, but when it was working it would make a very strange noises, and sometimes it will clap, sometimes it will make some bangs, and sometimes it will like have a sound like a firecracker or something. And basically like 3-4 times a night I would wake up from the AC shutting down, and it will make such a big bang that I would just jump on my bed. I was like, what's happening? So even though I am not a superstitious person, and I usually like quite logic, and it's difficult to scare me, the moment I could leave that place, I was like, yeah, I can't say I'm never coming back there, because maybe next month I will have to come back there. But the visa situation like this right now is that I applied for a temporary work permit, and right now they will have 3 months. As soon as my work visa is issued, they will make some more papers, more documents, and they only can make them after I am given this temporary work permit. It's Chinese regulations, and after that I will be able to apply for extension for 1 year of this work visa. So I will have to go there back and endure 1 more probably week, and it wouldn't be so bad if I wouldn't pay so much money for this visa already. And the Chinese people, Chinese agents that were helping me, didn't keep asking me for more money. And this is like Chinese way of doing things. They never tell you I mean, if they would tell me from the start that, come on, you don't want to live here for 1 week, you can just pay off the police, maybe a couple of thousand, and you can go back home right on the next day after you applied for your visa. I would pay. But I was there for 3 days already when they started this thing like, oh, if you don't want to wait till the end of the week, you know, you can pay off the police officers and we could settle this and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I'm already here 3 days out of 6, so why didn't you tell me this before? And I'm like, and they keep telling me this like every day, and by the end I just didn't reply their messages. So yeah, this extortionist side of Chinese things, I didn't like that, and of course I didn't pay because it was pointless at that moment. I already spent there so much time, like, and I took a week off from my work, and my work was not happy at all. And actually tomorrow is Sunday, and I'm going to work tomorrow because tomorrow is an open house in our kindergarten where new kids will be coming. So they were very worried when I will be coming back, and they were very let's say annoying in their messages, like texting me every day if I can take part in the Sunday activity. And I already tell them from the start, yes, I will come back on Saturday. I will take part in the Sunday activity, sure, because I took a week off. I will work for it. But they were like, are you sure? Are you coming back? What you doing? Where are you? And like every day, different people, same questions. I was like, why can't you just talk between each other? Yeah, so, and because I was, first I took a big trip to Inner Mongolia. Inner Mongolia is also part of China. And then I took a big trip to Bingzhou. That's a small town, I think. I haven't been home so much that I could hit up new projects or organize something. So basically I was working on my travel projects all this time. So enough of my life update, and let's go to stitching, I guess. So sorry for complaining a lot and sorry for all of this, but I just needed to make sure why I was off Instagram or any social medias, I guess, for almost a week, because I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel my mental health like it, because most of the time there I was not feeling happy, or I was basically very irritated by these Chinese agents and the way they organize everything and the way it just turned out. So I wasn't feeling safe and happy, so I try not to go into social medias that much, but I did some YouTube catch up because in the office where I had to sit every day in Bingzhou from 9 to 5 because I was waiting for the police to come and check upon me. They never came. They never came. And I could have left earlier. They never came. None of this. So they didn't have Wi-Fi either. But the Chinese guy who was sitting next to me, he installed on my phone a program which allowed me to find the key password for the Wi-Fi's in the building. So I guess we were all stealing Wi-Fi's from other companies in the building. So while I was there, I was watching a little YouTube, and after work I would spend hours and hours in KFC just sitting there and using their Wi-Fi. So yeah, because I just couldn't make myself go to that apartment earlier and sit there whole evening. So what I was working on, No particular order, because I basically was working, I was stitching in a bus 7 hours when I was going there and back. I was stitching in the office, I was stitching in the apartment before I would go to bed. I took my lamp with me, so it's a little like clip lamp, so I could like stitch anywhere. And what I was working on, first I will show you some whips, then I will show you one finish which happened before my travel to Bingzhou, and I have an FFO which is not really like fully finished. It needs a little extra, but I will show you anyway. So when I travel, I can't take big projects with me. Like what I use basically, like I use project bag like this. This one is from South Korea. It has Moomins. When I was a kid, I really loved Moomins, and this is Moomin Papa from the book like Moomin Papa and the Hat, where he got a hat of the wizard, magic man. I'm not sure, I was reading it in Russian, so I'm not sure about translation. But basically like this project bag can hold my small hoop, it can hold some patterns, and can hold some floss and scissors. Like when I travel, I use the very basic scissors, nothing fancy, because I'm always scared to lose them, because the scissors are the first thing that always drops from me. And so I carry my needles like here. You can see 1 needle, 2 needle. So this, oh, I use 3 or 4 here. So like basically if I put the needles on the zipper, they never fall out and they never get stuck or anything. So that's kind of safe way for me to travel. I know that now everyone have their fancy bags, and I don't have a possibility of ordering any fancy project bags, and I don't have a sewing machine to make one, so I have to make do with this just bought ones. But this is a really nice one because it doesn't get dirty and it's very easy to wash. And it's really heavy. The other one I use, it's even smaller, so but it can, this one is so cute. It's a green bean unicorns. Can you see that? It's a green bean unicorn, and it's very soft. I bought this one from Hungary last year, and it's small, but it contains basically like small kit, or again some floss, or some small project on a plastic. And this one have fancy scissors. My what is it? Not ostrich. Just the word skips my mind. Whatever, you can see this bird. So the bird scissors. These scissors were present from Anne, and I use them a lot. They're very sharp and they're very easy to work with, and I love this color. I mean, I don't usually like the golden or silver scissors, but the like these gray ones, oh, I just love them. So again, on this project bag, I have my needles here, so they never fall out. Oh, on this project bag I have like 3 needles, because when I go on a long vacation I try to get as many needles as I can, because not because I lose them, but sometimes I will be in a hurry and I bend one of the needles, and I had to throw it away because it was like this bad. And I will break them or something like that. So when I'm on a long vacation or travel or anything, I will take several needles at the same time. So what did I take with me? Because I show you my project bags and not any stitching. So one of the whips I have is the sunflower from Fruzzalog company. They are making this very cute cross stitch projects on a wooden base. So this is my back side. Not shaggy enough, right? But I still have to put some beads on, like in the middle there are black beads, and I have some back stitch to do. Because it was a travel project, and mainly I was stitching this when we went to Inner Mongolia. Unfortunately, this time when we were on a trip, I couldn't stitch a lot because it was too enjoyable, too much of impressions to everything. So I was like stitching a little bit every day, and I actually finished this sunflower couple of hours on the bus when I was going to Bingzhou, so you can imagine there was not much to do. So that's a whip, and now that I'm home I can finally bead it because I didn't take beads with me, and I can do the back stitch. But it was a very pleasant stitching. I mean, there are 4 colors of yellow and orange, 4 colors of brown, and 3 colors of green, I believe so. Let's see. I still have a lot of floss. Like these kits, the thing I love about them is that you can never run out of floss. I guess you can even do them in like 3 strands, but you cannot run out of floss, which I would not recommend, because if you do it in 2 strands, the coverage may not seem very perfect for you, especially with the dark colors. But when you do the back stitch on top and when you do the beading, it goes, your needle has to go through the same holes as your floss before, and because it's not a fabric, the holes don't stretch. So basically you just fill them in with floss, and you have very tight space left. So if you increase the amount of threads in your needle, I guess you will not have any space to do the beading. So yeah, even though I don't exactly like the coverage on the black, like you can see the brown ones, but I guess the beading will close everything and you wouldn't notice. So this was my first whip, and I'm planning to finish it. I guess next time I will be filming, I will be showing a lot of finishes, because a lot of these projects I took with me are on the bridge of finishing. So this was number 1. It just needs beads, backstitch, and glue the backside. Another thing I took with me was my Halloween cat sampler from Nadezhda Oleynik. And so last time I had this Dracula cat. I guess I only had all black and browns and just 1 color in the red. So I filled in the red in his cloak, browns his eyes, and the bottle. So this one is done. It just needs to, oh, why is it done? It needs backstitch because I didn't take any backstitch thread. I didn't take any black thread with me. I mean, I had the DMC black, but I don't backstitch with it. I backstitch with sewing thread, and I have a giant spool, so I decided not to take with me because it's kind of difficult to do it when I'm on the go. So I just did all the stitches, and I kind of like it. I mean, it will give you more details when it's backstitched, definitely, but it's still very cute. So this is a vampire cat, and I started the next one. This is a cat, like there will be a cat and a witch hat in the pumpkin that has a cat face because it has little ears and a nose and everything. But here I just filled in, I think, 2 colors of orange, and this was mostly what I did yesterday in the bus on my way home. So, and it was a night bus, so I could stitch only 3 hours, I guess, 3-4 hours, because I started a little earlier in the day. So yeah, that's like 3 or 4 hours of my work. Not bad. It's not bad. It's still a lot to go, but um, it could be a finish the next time too, because I guess if I just focus on this piece and finish all the stitches and the back stitch and cut them out, maybe next time I can make the garland or something. So the back on this, you see I carry my threads like it's a back. I don't care. No knots. I hide the waist under the stitches, but I carry my threads. And if I seem a little not happy or something, it's not because I'm not happy, I'm just a little sleepy. I guess because I came back home 3 o'clock in the morning today. And since then, I sleep a little and then spend like almost 2 hours in the shower. And then I unpacked the bags and did the washing, and I still need to go hit the supermarket because my fridge is empty. Like today I struggled to find some breakfast but my fridge is empty, so I have to go shopping later in the day. So I decided to make my Flosstube the first thing. Like now it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I guess I can put out this video later. I hope so, because I will have to do some editing. I really want to share my trip to Inner Mongolia because it was amazing. So if you love seeing beautiful places, just stay tuned for that. And one more thing that I worked on was Halloween Girl by Anna Klautova. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, she's beautiful. She is beautiful. So I started her as a part of Representation Matters cell and Black Lives Matter. I haven't done any of the fancy ladies before. I really want to. I mean, I'm trying to order some mirabilias lately, like, but all the Taobao shops that were selling mirabilias before, they kind of stopped because the shipping from America right now is a little bit difficult to China, I guess. Don't ask me, I don't know, but the mill heels I ordered like 2 months ago, they are still on the go, and I have no idea when they will be coming. So every time I ask a mirabilia seller, either they don't respond, their shop closed, or they are telling me like 3 months. So I'm thinking about making an order maybe from 1 to 3 Stitch or something, because I would really love to start 2021 with a mirabilia start, or lavender and lace. Like for me, I don't make a big distinction between those two companies. So if I just say mirabilia, it means I want to try lavender and lace, mirabilia, or Bella Filipina, whichever it is. Like I have the designs I love through all these companies, so I would like to start a fancy lady. But because I don't have one, and Representation Matters cell was about like let's convert the skin of a fancy lady into a black woman. So I just decided to choose the pattern which originally had black women, and this is what I found the most of my concept of my liking. Like it's it has a lot of blends, and it will be heavily backstitched, but I adore it. I will put the picture here. And if you notice, some of the pumpkins on the picture, they have hands. So I decided I'm not gonna do the hands. I don't really like this concept of pumpkins having hands and just like what, pushing her or just waving or whatever. And looking at the pattern, I just noticed you can just omit the hands, and the only place where it will be problematic is this pumpkin right under her face. Like it has hand in the middle of the pumpkin. But I decided I will stitch it all. Like I will first stitch all the oranges and everything, and then I will see how much how much empty space will be left, and I will just fill it in randomly, and we'll try to correct with a backstage or something. So what I've done, basically maybe 1200 stitches. I finished her hair, like I don't know if you can see well, but there is a shade of blue in her hair. So I finished the blue and I added all the orange throughout the picture, like all the pumpkins on her body, her hand, her breast, and also added like whites here and here. Like she only had this line of white and I added the whole white there. So it was, I'm stitching it on 32 count Murano 1/2. So the coverage is not my favorite. Like a lot of colors, they lose a little bit of their shading because of it. Like it should be much brighter and her hair much bluer if there would be like 2 strands of thread. But I noticed that I don't really like stitching on the 32 count with 2 threads because it's too bulky. Like I did the fox. Whatever. Like I did the fox. I think it's too bulky, and it didn't bring me joy that much on the 32 count. Yeah, I just decided to throw my stuff around. Why not? It's that morning. So I started to make it her 1/2, but because she has a lot of blends, so I had to go over some of the how I do blends on 1/2 is that first I do all the half stitches in the darker color, and then I do all the half stitches in the lighter color, and they still give good variegation, good shading of colors, but not really so vivid if you use 2 strands at the same time, 2 strands of different colors. So, and I think what is left is just a little orange and more white in her breast and backstitch. So if I can push it, I think I can finish it by the end of October and have another finish. By the way, I was watching a lot of new Flosstubers. I don't mean new like new ones, but new for me, and I have some shoutouts. First of all, I am so happy. I watched Scott Stitches in Spain. Just go and watch him. Like, stop this video and go watch Scott Stitches in Spain. He is amazing. First of all, like, who doesn't like a man stitching? To watch man stitching, that's just like my favorite thing. Like if I see man stitches, I always like subscribe and watch them because I just love it. And then he has this awesome personality. He's so funny. Like the whole video I'm watching him, I'm just constantly smiling and laughing, and he makes a lot of jokes, and he actually stitches very cool projects. Like half of his projects I would stitch them definitely, and just go watch him definitely. I started watching Annie the Joyful Stitcher, and I just love her energy. I like how she sings every time in the beginning of the video, and she's really filled with joy and this enthusiasm for stitching, and sometimes her projects are very different from what I would stitch, but if I enjoy watching a Flosstuber, the personality, I will like whatever they stitch anyway. Like it doesn't matter if you stitch my style or you stitch like totally like something I wouldn't do right now. I can't say I would never do, because maybe like in 5-10 years that would be my thing, but not right now. Like I wouldn't do some reproduction samplers or something, but I watch a lot of people who do them, because I like the energy of these people, and Annie is one of those people who I just love watching. She has very frequent videos, and I always just watch her from the very beginning and to the end. And one more, that's not a stitcher, that's a duo of stitchers. They are Canadian stitchers, Jen and Allison from Stitching Social. Oh, they have such energy together. That's, I don't know, they just crack me up a little bit sometimes, because of course they show a lot of beautiful things and projects, but Jen, she has a daughter, and you can frequently hear her on the background of the video, because she doesn't want the kid in the video, but she's very talkative, and she makes remarks and she corrects them and it's just funny how they interact inside the video, and it's just very funny. And they made like the last video about hole. Oh, I was just glued to the screen all the time, because that they were showing a lot of like blackboard designs, and I have this idea of getting some blackboard designs and modernizing them a little bit, like in the colors and stuff like that, because I'm not sure the primitive is my style, but I definitely love this entourage and this style, and maybe just making it brighter or adding some things, but I just like blackboard. So whenever she showed the whole hour of blackboard designs, I was like, yes, please, more. And some of them I never saw before, so go watch them too. Like, you definitely need to see the blackboard designs, so go watch them. And oh yeah, last time we also did the giveaway, so I want to announce the winners for the cards from the giveaway. Actually, not like announce. For 3 cards, I was asking if anyone would like to receive a postcard from China, and actually only 4 people wanted to get a card, but one of them is my very close friend. He is now not in China, but he will be coming back, so I will save him a card. But for other 3 ladies that were kindly watching long enough to find the question and answer it, so the people who I will be waiting the address from are Heather Miller, Jen from the channel Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole, and Rocio from Kokohama Stitchery. I will comment on your comments, but please send me your address so I can send you some postcards from China. And that was really funny, because this morning I was like, oh my god, I need to I need to like prepare everything, I need to unpack, I need to do all the things, and I'm like, do I need to like make a video how I choose the winners? And then I look through the comments, and there were only 3 entries, and like, yay! No need, they just got their cards. So I don't know like why, maybe like the rest, like I saw they were like over 100 of people who watched the episode, but maybe others were like, oh, they already got the card, so no need to comment anymore. So that was kind of funny. Let's go back to the whips. And one more whip that I have is Baby Boars and Japanese Flowers by Gera. And this was this was Stitchy Kindness I received last month from Anna, and thank you so much, Anna. They're so cute. now every time I'm stitching on it or looking at it or like what just thinking about it, I'm thinking about you. And this is now not just some picture that I liked and I decided I wanted to reproduce. Now this is a piece that symbolized some friendship for me, symbolized like how people support me in my this cross stitch journey. That sometimes I just doubt that what if like me making this very long and sometimes not very interesting or videos where I lose my words and I can't forget things and stuff like that. But and then I receive some messages that say, no, we like you and we like your projects, please show more. And then like, that's worth it. That's totally worth it. That's why I decided to share. I just wanted to share. So what I did is, I think last time when I started this project, I had this part of the flower and the little piggy, and then I added this flower and this flower and this, and the tops of the flowers and 2 more piggies. They're all not quite done, but at the time when I was kitting this project, I was rushing around and packing my bags and doing all sorts of things and emptying my fridge and like all sorts of things. So I just grabbed a couple of colors. I actually grabbed 2 of the greens, acro for the piggies, this 352 for the flowers, and I think 1 purple one, but I didn't stitch it here because it was too much of counting. I think the purple was in the flowers on top of this, and before that there was another shade of purple and I didn't have it, so I decided just to stop at this point. And I made an error here, a counting error, and you cannot see it, but basically like this part of the stem, like 4 stitches, they don't go this way, they have to go like all the way here, and that the stem would be like more to the right. At least that's how I see it in the camera, so for me it will be more to the right. So I'm pretty sure I could finish it, and I'm stitching it on embroidery even with, so I have no idea what count it is. It's so tiny. It's very tiny. I'm doing it 1/2 and the stitches are still bulky. I mean, I don't know how well you can see it, but stitches are a little bulky. So when I see it, it just makes me smile, and it's so cute and tiny and represents and means a lot for me. So thank you, Anna, for giving me opportunity to stitch it, and I'm happy with the color I choose for the base, because it's almost the same color. I don't know if it's the same, but I would say almost the same as the one Gara chose for her baby boards, because you can actually see how well you can see the greens, but when I just received it first, I was like, are they gonna fade? No, they're not. They are amazing. And they're gonna be this small, like this how big piece I've got for them. And that's how big they're gonna be. I'm still toying with the idea if I want to turn them into the box, like jewelry box or whatever, as they are in the original chart, or I want to put them in a small tray, or I want to frame them, or just a small pillow. So tell me, what do you think? Like, how would you do it? Because they are gonna be like exactly this big. That's it. That's like the side, and this is the side. This is the top, and this is the bottom. So they're tiny. But I don't know how I want to finish them, but it just brings me a lot of joy. And it's very, very heavy for my eyes, so I cannot stitch them a lot, and especially not in the afternoon or in the evening. Just with the morning light, I put on so much progress, but whenever it gets darker, my eyes hurt because it's so small. So last time I always said that my friend, okay, I will say it, my boyfriend, I got my boyfriend, a Chinese boyfriend. I already gave a couple of hints on Instagram, but I never actually told most of my family and my friends about it. So, so this is a big announcement. I got myself a boyfriend, and he likes so that I'm stitching, and after I explained to him that it's not a very cheap hobby and everything, so he liked it even more, because he understands how handmade things are unique and exclusive, and he was like, can you stitch anything for me? And I was like, yeah, sure, like whatever you want. So he wanted a jacket, because he saw my sweatshirts and the white jacket with the stitching, and he was really into the idea of stitching the back of his jacket. And at first he wanted the same dragon as this, not exactly the same, but I have a t-shirt and a sweatshirt with a circle dragon in the middle, but he wanted the same style dragon. But the jacket he chose for it, like a man jacket, right, it was too big. Like the circle would fit on here, but he wanted in the back, so it's too big. So what we decided in the end is to choose a bigger design, to make it like bigger size, and it will take me longer to do it, but the jacket is way heavier than I would like it, because it's a men's jacket, it's very big, but this is what we chose. It's Natalia Orechova is the designer. The name of the design is Dreamcatcher Horse, or Horse Dreamcatcher. She has a number of designs like this, like in Native American style, very colorful, kind of big. I think it's like 180 on 120, 180 on 120. So it's not that very big, but if you're stitching it on a jacket and you're holding it with your hands and stuff like that, that's a big project, believe me. So it's easier to stitch this size on a fabric, way easier. So, and that was my very tiny start. It's not tiny, but yeah, the jacket is just too big and loud. So I measured it and I found the highest point, and I put it exactly in the middle. So I will need to add some of this, and I'm using DMC soluble canvas for this, and I will need to add some down here because it will get very lower. But so far I did 2 colors of blue and the blend between them, and 2 colors of red in the horse's hair, mane, like whatever it is. So it's kind of difficult to hold it because I hooped it. As you can see, there are hoop marks. I hooped it and I hold it in my hands and I have to stitch it, and this whole thing prevented me from stitching it very nicely. So yeah, at the last moment I just stuffed it in my travel bag and traveled with it. It's not much to see right now, but I'm not in a hurry. Mostly I did like 200 stitches per day, so it will take me maybe, if I keep with the same speed, 200 stitches a day, maybe every evening a couple of hours. Then I think in 2 months I can finish it, but that will be like a Christmas gift or New Year gift, so I'm not in a hurry. Basically, I know that I can stitch the project to this size in a month, so I'm just stalling and taking it easy, because sometimes my hand hurt after holding it so much, and when you stitch with a fabric, like your hand doesn't do that much of a movement. When I'm stitching on a jacket, my hand goes like whoop, behind it. So yeah, like 200 stitches a day, it's like I'm already tired. I need a change. So let's get to the FFO. As I said last time, I will finish the Be Well and the Crystal. It's a freebie from Wild Violet Cross Stitch, which I saw Top Knot Stitcher doing it, and then I fell in love with it. So I stitched it 1/1 on 30 count. I think it's 30. And it's tiny. So I wanted to make it a sachet or little sack for herbs, which is actually is a sack for herbs. I tea and coffee dyed myself. It was white, and I hand sew it on it. Why I did it is because originally there was a sticker here which left some glue marks on the sack, so I had to like cover it up. So I hand stitched like an X and a little over. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's really nice. And then I cut it and make a little tassel. And the bag, because it also had some markings on the back, I decided to leave empty. Not that I decided to leave empty, maybe I would love to put some words on it or something, but because I was in a travel and I just grabbed this and 2 spools of thread here there, like I used yellow and purple, which you can't really see on it. I mean, so, and hand sewn it, and I had these buttons for a long time. I bought them from Thailand. Actually, when I opened the button pack, it was so funny because I bought them in Thailand, but they say made in China. So these like wooden looking buttons. So now it kind of looked like a pocket, but I was thinking that if need be, maybe I can make if I will be, because it will be a gift for someone at one point of my life. So I will fill it with very smelly, yummy herbs, and I still need, why I said it's not really so finished, because it still needs a ribbon or some kind of rope through it, so it will be able to close, and basically that's how it will look like. So I was thinking that maybe at some point in my life when I will be ready to gift it, I can put a tag here to whom it will be, or maybe to put some instruction how to use the herbs, or like whatever. And either I will put it maybe using these 4 buttons, or just maybe using 1 button and it can be a tag on the side or something, so people can just take it off. But I really like the idea of buttons, and I use a little different stitch here. I use more yellow here than purple, and bigger legs of a stitch, and I think it looks very nice. So while I was on vacation, not on vacation, on a horrible trip, I almost fully finished this, but I didn't have the ribbon, so I think I will put it through the sack and just tie it up here somewhere. So I need to finish it, but it's all done. Yay! Nice. Yeah, in Russia we have a saying, if you don't praise yourself, no one will praise yourself, so good job. And I have one more finish. I finished it right after I came back from Inner Mongolia, because I was originally thinking of finishing it before the end of September, but the end of September was just crazy, because before the holiday the work was crazy and I had to prepare everything for visa, and for the holiday, and then we work one extra day, so we didn't have much time on the weekend. So I didn't finish it then, but I came back from Mongolia and I finished it. So these are the summertime from Miroshka. I just love how it looks in the camera. Give me a minute, give me a second. It's just so perfect. So originally this is a kit from Ukrainian company Miroshka, and it's stitched on 16 count brown Ada. I didn't want it on brown because I think in the Instagram I saw someone stitching it on light green or light blue, something like that, to imitate the field, because they're sitting in a poppy field. So I wanted to see it in the light fabric. And then in my stash I found this piece of 16 count hand-dyed Ada. I won this. Someone asked me where did this piece come from. I'm sorry, I have no idea. A couple of years ago I took part in all kinds of giveaways in Contact and Facebook, and sometimes I won something randomly. Sometimes I take part in designer contests, because I stitch a lot of Russian designers. They make like contests on the best photo or something of their work, so I win a couple of those too. And through this time I win several giveaways, and some of them I think were like random, like you win it but you don't know what you will get, and you will open a package and only then you will see. So when I scrolled through ages of messages, I couldn't find anyone who sent me this. Like I found a lot of giveaways, but I haven't found anyone who sent me this. So maybe it was a piece of that mystery package. So it's beautiful. It reminds me of the sky, and it's actually why I chose this fabric, because I said this will be filled poppy, and it's like you look up to it, so you don't see the ground, you don't see the other flowers, but you see up and you see the sky. I omitted the half cross stitch. There should be half stitch here and basically like all the downside here in browns and dark greens, browns and purples, like imitating there is foliage behind this. But because I have blue fabric, I don't really want to close these spaces. I think they just pop up so gorgeous. The one thing that I'm not sure about is that here we can see some backstitch on their lower leaves, like a lot of backstitch. There is also backstitch on the seed pods and the birds, but there is no backstitch on here, on the leaves, here or here, and there is no backstitch on this bud, which already started opening. So should I add the backstitch, or you think it's enough? Because I love how it looks, but this dissonance of having some backstitch and not having in other places, I just can't make my mind. So do you think I should add some backstitch in the poppies, or it's like it's already enough? Because you can clearly see it's more vivid here, but you can still see it there. I don't know, I just love it. So at some point it will be framed. It will be framed in a tall frame, so we will see some sky and up to here. I haven't chosen the frame yet, but probably it will be some green color or brown color to imitate the field plants or something like this. So that's my idea. That's my idea for this. So it will be a tall frame, so we'll see a lot of sky. And in the original pattern there is the word summertime here. I also didn't want to stitch them because what are the words in the middle of the sky? So this is my finish and I was so happy to do it. Yeah, it wasn't a September finish which I was counting on, but it's my first October finish, and I'm just loving it. I hope I can do some more finishing before the end of October. So November and December I can concentrate on eliminating the number of whips I have. I'm already making the plans for the next year, and to make my plans more successful I need to eliminate as many whips as I can this year. Plus I have this idea of making 2 more ornaments for my future Christmas tree, because I already stitched two little owl bear and owl fox. Now I need to stitch 2 more and turn them into the ornaments. So I think the end of October I will be stitching finishing this all projects that I already started, and I will not start anything new. But I don't know about November, December, maybe just something crashes in my mind. Because this year was originally, I started it as a year of stitching from stash, so most of these projects are already been in my stash for a long time, and I allowed myself to stitch some freebies this year or presents, but I haven't stitched anything. No, I have. I stitched the Fruzelog, this one, and the Heritage, the winter ship, but nothing really else. So maybe if I just eliminate them, if I just finish them, they will not count. I don't know, but I'm trying to hold in that stitch from stash 5 still. I have a little bit of hold, and then I want to talk about Inner Mongolia trip. So my haul is whenever I try to find some memorabilia or fancy lady that I would love to stitch, I stumble upon several cross-stitch shops, and mostly the 99% of majority of cross-stitch shops in China are the stamped cross-stitch. It's just huge kits with a printed canvas where you just look at the color and you stitch it on the canvas, and mostly it's just reprints of old dimensions or some memorabilias, but it's China, no one really cares about copyright here, so yeah, they're selling them. I mean, not that I don't care, but people who make cross-stitch shops here, who have cross-stitch shops here, don't care about copyrights. So they just do the reprints on the printed canvas for all the big companies and everything. And I'm looking for original charts and original kits, so it makes my life very difficult. But because I just wanted to buy something, and they cannot buy really more kits or charts, because if I buy them I will want to stitch them, and right now like literally right now. So what I did, I got myself some DMC wooden hoops. This was for, I think, aesthetic purposes more than the usefulness, because I like taking nice pictures of my stitching for my Instagram, and what I use is a lot of my stitching is in green, blue or red hoops, but sometimes it doesn't just fit in these colors, so I decided to buy, and they were like super cheap, to buy those like wooden natural style hoops, so they will fit in any kind of cross-stitch design that I'm stitching right now, and they will not be like stitching something let's say blue and have a red hoop that will just steal all the accent from my stitching, or make it very difficult to take a picture of it nicely. So I decided to take 3 sizes of hoops. This is a medium one, which I usually use to stitch, and the bigger one for bigger projects, and the smaller one. I'm not sure why I did take the smaller one, but maybe I will be finishing something in it, so why not, who knows. Right now I'm thinking like it would make a very sick necklace, like if I stitch something in it, or I mean not even a necklace, it could be like a keychain or something. Just close it here and take out this bolt and put the thread, put the lace through this ball, through this holes. So I have a new idea. Yeah, and I think it would be nice like for something long, maybe a long, yeah, that would be good. Nice size. So yeah, and what else I found? I found some hand-dyed fabrics. Actually, they say it's from DMC Cross Stitch, but I doubt it. I think they just use the name of the DMC for their shop. So actually, I gave on Taobao for the review, I gave them all 4 and 3 stars because it was very different from the color of the fabric that they originally show in the picture. Like, I can't say I don't like it. I love it, but it's very pink, and it's supposed to be dark purple. You can see that, right? Like, it's very pink. And yes, it has some purple in it, but it's not dark purple. It's supposed to be like that witchy, some dark purple, something dark navy blue or something. Plus, I'm not sure I'm fine with this splotches. It's like someone was just cleaning their brush over this spot. So I don't really like when my fabrics have this. So I will need to use this side, which is, this is the back side, which is lighter. It's even more pinker than this. And so I'm happy that I have it. I will definitely use it. I will find something. It's 18 count Ada. So I got 3 Adas and 1 even weave. It's 18 count Ada, so it's gonna be something very, very nice on it. But just the difference between what they offer and what you receive. I know that the hand-dyed fabrics are different with every batch and everything, but you can't advertise a purple one and send me the pink one. Like, it's like really too much pink, and on the original one there was not a splotch of pink. Yeah, so this should have been ice blue, like very, very light ice blue, and this is way darker, and this has more variegation that it originally should have. So I like this piece, don't get me wrong, like this is sick, this is so good. It's like ice battle or something in it, but it was supposed to be very monochrome, monogamous, whatever, very monotone, yes, not like these blotches of variegation everywhere. So I like it, but it's not what they advertise. And these two are actually the same dye, the same color, but on different fabrics. So this was actually more true to life than this. I mean, true to what they advertise, because this is more green. So another 18 count Ada, and this is a lot more lighter and yellower, but I still love it. I know it's too small for a fancy lady, but just imagine some mermaid on it. It will look amazing, like the water. Yeah, I love it. And this is the 18 count. Same, but a little darker. I think it washes out. Yeah. So these were my haul, and while I was traveling, while I was waiting to come back home for the whole week, I was watching a little bit of movies, and I can recommend the series The Boys. It is just so awesome. It's like the one of the, I don't really like the superhero movies, because they're already superheroes. They're all powerful and they win everything, and it's just not enough drama for me. But The Boys, they give you the enough drama, and it's just brutal. And oh, don't show it to the kids, please. It's so brutal, but it's very good and funny, and lots of action, and kind of makes you think about everything, but a lot of nudes. So don't show your kids, but if you're really into some action and superpowers and bad guys, villains, that's for you. And it's really, really good made. And after I finished it, I asked for some suggestions, and a lovely girl from Instagram, her name is Tiffany, Stitching in Paris. I believe she just started her Instagram not so long ago. I mean, I don't know about her Instagram, but her stitching Instagram. And she has some very beautiful black work there. So go subscribe to her because she's really cute. And she told me I can watch The Haunting of the Bly Mansion. Ooh, that just blew my mind. First of all, it's a very, very interesting haunted house story with every person there having their own story, hidden every person there has their own hidden story there, and like watching episode by episode, you kind of get the whole idea, but then they open up for the fully in the end. You're like, wow. And the last episode, it's not scary, like absolutely not a jump scare, nothing scary. It's a more about really love story, and just sometimes very sad, tragic story about like life of different people in one mansion. But the last episode made me cry. I was sitting in the office and I was just like pouring and the guys in the office, and Chinese guys, were like, what's happening? I'm like, nothing, just a very sad movie. But it's totally worth it. Like right now, I would recommend it to anyone, and it doesn't get sad before the last episode, so don't worry about it. And I think every one of us needs some emotional output sometimes, so that's a good one. It's a really good one. It leaves you with this, a little sadness, but it's a happy sadness. You smile at the end, so it's very nice. So thank you everyone who's been with me so far. I guess it will be a longer video, and thank you everyone again for your comments, for your wishes, for everyone who asked me where I've been and why I'm so lost, and wished me well and wished me to come back to Beijing again. So thank you everyone. After this, I will talk a little bit about my Inner Mongolian trip. So if you're interested, please stay with me. If not, then thank you for joining me for today, and see you next time, guys. Inner Mongolia is a part of China that is located right under the Mongolia, the country Mongolia. So it has a lot of similar nature and a lot of similar cultural and traditional things. They are very unique in architecture. and very unique in their traditions and the food. So we bought a trip, and the side of the trip that I didn't like was very cold hotels, and in Beijing at that moment there was like 22 degrees Celsius. In prairies where we stayed and even slept one night, it was like 3 degrees Celsius. So even if you don't know how cold it is, you can just see the difference, like 22 and 3, right? So like back in Beijing, we were just wearing socks and jeans, and in the prairies I had to wear tights and socks and underpants and jeans and t-shirt and turtleneck and another bigger t-shirt and a sweatshirt and a jacket and a hood and a hat and a mask, because it's warmer in a mask, not because we need it in an open field prairie, but because it's warmer there. So basically, and I would kill for a pair of gloves because my hands were so cold too. And it was very windy there, but it was very beautiful. And just like looking at the huge prairies, you can actually see for very far away there, and just all the culture, and they really had a very good guidance system. So they took us first day to the prairies, they introduced us to the culture, they told us a lot about the economics and about the structure of the region. Mongolians are originally nomads, and what it means is that they will not live in one place, but they build little huts, little tents, and they will stay maybe a season or like a winter in one place, and then move on to another, because they will mainly live on a big number of horses and cows and sheep, which needs to be fed, so that's why they move. But when the Chinese government decided to improve the region, they poured so much money there, and they built amazing big cities there, like Hohhot. And it's so beautiful and big and modern, and you just see the whole brilliant city there. And as our guide told us, only like 30% of the city is inhabited, because people just don't move in there. They don't know how to live in a place like that. So they're not used to it. They prefer their huts and tents more. So it was very beautiful spending time there and visiting some sites, like the wharf and some squares, and we saw beautiful statues. But basically it was a ghost city, because apart from several central streets with shopping malls, nothing else is working, and basically you have vast areas in the city where you cannot spot a single person. So that was interesting. Apart from that, we spent a lot of time in the prairies where we rode a horse.
Have another one here.
Yeah, you want to take a picture?
It was so much fun. I had some experience riding a horse when I was a teenager. One summer I was learning to ride a horse, but it wasn't very consistent, and since then I haven't been in a horse, but it was so cool. One bad thing happened to me is that the saddle was constructed of the metal thingies, and just put some fabric or fur on top, and I think because a lot of tourists come to visit them, and because it's a very nice place, the fabric become very thin. So basically when you ride a horse, you just jump on a piece of metal. So and they got us in a gallop across the prairie there. Then we stopped, we took some pictures, we got to the river, we got some snacks, some milk tea, which Mongolians are very proud of, and it was so good. Milk tea with salt. They have special brick tea, and they boil it with milk and add some salt and spices, and it's exceptionally good. And then we had to gallop back again on the horse. So after that, for several days, I could barely sit because my butt hurt so much. Like, basically riding on the horse that day hurt a lot. But it was maybe the one of the disadvantages of this trip. Everything else I loved. And we also went to the desert part of the Mongolian prairies, fields, whatever. It's a real desert. Like, you can see there is only sand, dunes of sand, tons of sand, and nothing else. So we rode on camels, which was fun again. And I tried to take a picture with the camel because my boyfriend took a picture of how he's hugging a camel, and I wanted the same picture. And the camel started to do like he wants to spit. And I was like, oh my god, why did he do it like that when you were taking pictures? And he started doing that with me. So I chickened out. I couldn't take a good picture with him because I was afraid the moment I hug him, he will spit all over me. And basically, I wasn't a fan of that. We also took an amazing amount of pictures. We rode on some slides, which I will put in here. That was fun. That was really fun. And we also did some other activities in the desert, which I couldn't take pictures of because it was like riding in a huge car, open, like Jeep, but a bigger one, truck maybe. It's open, and they just put you in there, and the car goes so fast, especially on all the turns and like on dunes, ups and downs. So you basically like jump. So it's kind of like a roller coaster, but you do it in a car, and you are extremely afraid that the car will turn over. So that was a fun experience. And one more thing. When we came there, they told us like most of the guidance, most of the tour was done in Chinese, and I think I was me, and there were two more foreigners, only three of us from our whole group, maybe 20 people. So the whole tour was done in Chinese, and like boyfriend just translated me some. So we were coming there, and he turned to me, and I was trying to stitch because I don't understand, so why would I listen to the guide if I can listen to him later? So he turned to me and told me that they are going to give us some wine, which was not a wine, actually it was like some kind of floral vodka. Very sweet, very nice and tender, but it was still vodka. So, and how you do it is that they give you a little cup, and you put your ring finger in a cup, and you spray it on the air. Then you put a finger in a cup, you spray it on the ground, then you put a finger in a cup and you put a dot on your forehead and you drink it. And I was like, is it true? Or like everyone else will go out of the bus, they will give us some ritual vodka to drink, and the only foreigner, because other couple, they were from they were Italians, so they were not very different. They had black hair, and the girl was half Asian, she was Italian and Chinese, so they were not so different. And then me with my white hair, everyone of course noticed me a lot. So, and then I would come out and start, okay. And they were like, oh, that's like a foreigner trick or something. And he's like, no, 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 that's really. And after I saw that was really it, but it was just a funny bit. Also, one more thing that I really loved was one evening when we stayed in a Mongolian camp. They made a huge dinner for us. I think their specialty is lamb, so they even brought them lambs and asked us to dress up as Mongolians. Like all the girls had Mongolian dresses and the guys had hats and everything. So, and during that dinner they made a lot of entertainment for us. Like basically they will bring one dish and sing one song. They will bring another dish and they will do the dance. They will bring another dish and lots of wine and lots of vodka there, but the entertainment was so awesome. It was definitely very exotic, and I haven't heard that before, so I will put some videos here. Another evening we eat a camel. I just hope it wasn't the same camel we were riding, but the meat, it kind of reminds me of beef, but it has some different, a little different taste. So yeah, that's one to the list of strange things I've ever eaten, a camel. We also visited a little local farm where they asked us to milk the goat and just to dress up in the Mongolian dress, and I took some very nice pictures. Originally the dress will have a hat with a lot of beading and everything, but I just liked how it was without it, and it was so cold that I couldn't take off my hoodie. So basically I have like a big bag oversized hoodie and the dress on top. So if I seem a little fat on these pictures, that's just because of it. So it was a wonderful trip, and it will stay in my heart forever, but we definitely didn't come there in the right season. Even Mongolians told us, like, why did you come so late in the season? Because the high season is August, and we came there in the October, which is I think last year it was still warmer in the October than this year. So this year it's abnormally cold. I don't know why, just something that came up to mind, I guess. That's all I wanted to share with you today, and thank you everyone who is still be with me till this moment, and see you next time. Bye bye.